Welcome back, guys. Hey, I sometimes like to shy away from shows with not much written about them. However, this production, yeah, it deserves a brief nod. So join us as we're turning the page into the enchanting waters of Big Fish, a musical that celebrates the power of storytelling and the magic of a life lived large. Big Fish is a musical with music and lyrics by Andrew Lippa and book by John August. Now, based on Daniel Wallace's 1998 novel Big Fish, a novel of mythic proportions, and the 2003 film, the story revolves around the relationship between Edward Bloom, a traveling salesman, and his adult son, Will. Now, the story shifts between two timelines. In the present day real world, 60-year-old Edward Bloom faces his mortality, while his son, Will, prepares to become a father himself. In the storybook past, Edward ages from a teenager, encountering a witch, a giant, a mermaid, and the love of his life, Sandra. Here, both stories meet as Will discovers the secret his father never revealed. Now, Big Fish had its out-of-town tryout at Chicago's Oriental Theater in April of 2013, starring Wicked's Norbert Leo Butz, Tony-nominated actress Kate Baldwin, former actor-turned-therapist Bobby Steggert, Motown the Musical's Crystal Joy Brown, and Something Rotten's Brad Oscar. Now, out-of-town reviews for Big Fish were positive. Variety called it a wholly satisfying show. Meaningful, emotional, tasteful, theatrically imaginative, and engaging. And concluded by taking Edward's tales as the jumping-off point for the theatricality of production numbers. The show makes a case for the musical form itself as a means of privileging imagination over ordinariness. The show does have a target audience after all, and it's those who love musicals. And don't we all? The musical then stopped at Broadway's Neil Simon Theater in September of 2013, inviting audiences to witness fire-breathing dragons and become the hero of their own story. Now, the cast pretty much stayed the same from the original out-of-town tryout, but the reviews, they were mixed. Once the show moved to Broadway, Chris Jones of the Chicago Tribune wrote, "This final Broadway version of Big Fish has changed considerably and improved in leaps and bounds from the version audiences saw in Chicago, especially in the radically different first act. With the deeply engaged and seemingly irreplaceable Norbert Leo Butz driving its storytelling and willing the show's crucial emotional subtext into being by sheer force of talent and will, Big Fish arrives on Broadway as an earnest, family-friendly, heartwarming, and mostly successful new American musical." Now, Butz's performance, however, has been almost universally praised. Jeremy Gerard of Bloomberg wrote, "The part is custom-made for Norbert Leo Butz, who hasn't had such a meaty role since Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. His ingratiating singing and dancing bespeak the rare man comfortable in his own skin, and he has that indefinable charismatic spark that defines a star." And so, the final chapter, I don't know if this is the final chapter, but the final chapter of Edward Bloom's extraordinary life unfolds. That while the details of our stories may be embellished, the emotions and connections they represent are profoundly real. It encourages us to embrace the fantastical and to cherish the stories that shape who we are. Now, every life is a story worth telling, and sometimes the most important truths are found not in the facts, but in the spirit of the tale. Until our next theatrical exploration, have a very happy Easter, and may you always have a good story to tell. Take care.